morning to you, and welcome back to today's JRPG Weekly Update. I am SuperDerek, and guys, I got some news for you. A lot of SuperDerek news, actually. It's been kind of a slow week for RPGs this week, but you know what? I still wanted to make today's episode mostly because of how much I had to say, so I hope you guys are interested. Now, as far as new game announcements, we've only got a handful of things to really talk about, starting with Banner of the Maid. It's a strategy RPG that just launched on Steam back in February of this year. It's getting a port over to consoles here on, we don't really know when. Sometime this year, but it's coming to Xbox, PS4, and Nintendo Switch in sometime 2020. And what was kind of interesting to me about this game is that it looks like this is the retelling of the French Revolution, kind of like an alternate universe sort of deal. It looks kind of interesting, and the sprite art looks pretty cool too. Now, also, there's an action RPG that was on PS3 and Xbox 360 that's getting a remaster here, Kingdoms of Alamur Reckoning. And it's getting a port over to Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It looks like that's getting a release date of August 18th of this year. And the remaster is going to launch for around $40 or so, but it's also getting a collector's edition that's like 3 times as much at around $110, which is pretty steep, I think. But it maybe, who knows, maybe it's got some statues or something. But I mean, for 3 times the cost, it better come up with something pretty amazing, right? We also got a release date update for Tower of Time. This is an isometric tactical RPG that's planned to launch on June 23rd of this year. The 23rd through the 26th, depending on the platform, because it's coming out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, pretty much all on different days. So between the 23rd through the 26th. Also, in other news, Mistwalker Games, the people who are behind Lost Odyssey, well, they have this game that's been on iOS and Android for a while called Terra Battle. It looks like that's actually coming to an end here pretty soon. It's been around since 2014, which is like 6 years, which is pretty impressive. I never played it because obviously it's a mobile RPG and I'm not really into those sorts of things, but it looks like what they're working on next is going to be an RPG for the Apple Arcade called Fantasian, I guess. So I don't really know anything about that, but I'm hoping that it's, kind of like a console experience, but I guess we will see. In SuperDerek news, this is where a lot of today's episode is going to be coming from. So last week I was on the Drunk Friend podcast with my buddies Trav and Alex, and you might know Alex as SNES Drunk from the YouTube channel SNES Drunk, and it was a lot of fun to hang out with the dudes and talk about how I got started on YouTube and just a whole lot of just RPG talk. I think it was pretty fun, but I might be biased because I was involved. Also, on Twitch last week, I finished my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and so that review is going to be just around the corner. So it's actually being written right now. Well, not right now because I'm recording this right now, but in between right now and when you see this, I'll have been working on the review. So expect to see that here pretty soon. On Friday of this week, I've got a new video coming out for Trails in the Sky, and this game was a lot of fun. Spoiler warning, I guess. Currently, subscribers over on Twitch and patrons over from Patreon have early access to the video, and so far, based on initial feedback, it sounds like they like this one quite a bit. So I had a good time putting this one together, so I hope you guys enjoy it on Friday as well. And speaking of Trails in the Sky, tonight around 6 p.m. I'm going to be starting my playthrough of Trails in the Sky second chapter. I'm very excited to see where the story goes from here, because it kind of left off on a massive cliffhanger at the end of FC. So if you're interested in seeing my live and real time and very initial impressions of the game, go over to Twitch and follow there and hang out. It's super fun. I always have a good time. And then also I have a kind of an interesting update for Jukebox Hero Night. This is that special Saturday night stream that I do every couple weeks where I play through 3 classic RPGs at the same time on rotation, and chat is actually in charge of switching the game on me randomly, immediately, just, like that. It's a lot of fun, but it gets pretty hectic. Well, up to this point, I've only been able to use this with Super Nintendo games. However, I have recently updated my program that allows this all to work with multiple consoles. It's a little bit slower, but I'm really excited to see what happens when we start incorporating some PlayStation and Genesis and Game Boy Advance games into the mix. It's going to get pretty crazy, so we're going to be breaking that in on Saturday of this week around 8 p.m. Central, and I hope to see you guys there. In this week's JRPG Weekly Forecast, we've got a few things of interest to talk about. There's that new expansion to the Elder Scrolls Online, Greymoor. It's coming out this week. It's coming to PC, PS4, or Xbox One, and that's launching on the 9th. Also, Ys Memories of Celceta, the PlayStation Vita game that's also on PC right now, is getting a port over to PlayStation 4, and that's also coming out on the 9th, so you have that to look forward to. Speaking of PlayStation Vita games, there's the game Demon's Tier, Tier Plus. It's a roguelike by developer Cowcat, and that's getting a port over to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch also on the 9th. And then also we've got Warborn, which is a turn-based tactics games that's launching on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch on June 10th. And then 1971 Project Helios is another turn-based action RPG that is launching on the 9th for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. So, kind of a lot of little things coming out this week to keep in mind. And then that pretty much leaves us with today's question of the week. And my question for you is, of any franchise, any game, any RPG you've ever played, what was your favorite battle system and why? Personally, I know that this might sound like a bit of a safe choice, but it's probably just because I've played so many games that feature the very basic Dragon Warrior battle system. You know, it's turn-based mechanics, very few frills. I do like it when there are, twists on that, like what with Earthbound and stuff, but for the most part, just your bog standard turn-based RPG battle system, sometimes you can't really go wrong with it. Especially when it's put to good use with, various tactics that you have to use in order to, like, for instance, Dragon Quest XI had that pep up mechanic that they just kind of tacked on to the existing Dragon Quest battle system. But then, I like it when they take a basic battle system, but then do something slightly different to just sort of tweak it a little bit, A really well done Dragon Quest battle system is pretty solid. And I guess even the Pokemon games are really just kind of a tweaked version of that battle system. So, I don't know. But what do you guys think? What RPG battle system was your favorite? Or would you rather see come up again, maybe? So, anyways, I know this has been a super short episode. I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and I will see you guys next week. Or no, I'll see you guys on Friday with my review of Trails in the Sky. Until then, guys, have a good day. I'm SuperDerek, and this has all been news to me. Have a good week, everybody.